Hi, parents and families. Welcome to Back to School Night 2021 of the 2021-2022 school year. My name is Jenna Freda. If you're watching this, ideally, I am your son or daughter's English literature teacher, specifically for multicultural literature. That said, a little bit of info about me. I've been here for 6 years at the Yale School teaching English Lit. I've taught several different subject matters of literature over the course of that time. So I graduated prior to when I started here from Rowan University with an undergraduate degree, a bachelor's in dual subject matter education and English, K through 12 subject matter education, and also a special education certification. And then in 2020, I graduated with my master's from Wilmington University in school leadership. So here I am, still at Yale, loving it. We're getting through all the pandemic education stuff and hopefully getting back to some normalcy. I'm just going to go through and briefly touch on a few things. I will be kind of teaching your child over the course of this year. I think it's going to be a great one. I'm really excited. Can't wait to really get into the thick of it. So my email is jfreda@yaleschoolnj.com. Please reach out to me there at any time. Love getting emails from my content area kiddos, parents, anything that's going on, please just let me know. I am available. And my extension for my voicemail is 760. You call the regular school number, 856-482-5252, and then dial extension 760 to get to my voicemail. If it's during school hours and you need to speak to me imminently, like it's very important, then you can ask a secretary to transfer you through. So, a couple things about the class, procedures, policies, kind of, little details. Homework is Monday and Thursday for my class. If you want to opt your child out of homework, you should reach out to your child's homeroom teacher and they will kind of disperse that information to the rest of your child's team. But if not, they will receive homework on Monday and Thursday. Caveat about homework. Your child should not be spending more than 30 to 45 minutes on each homework assignment that they are assigned a night. So that means 2 homework assignments a night. They should be doing homework for like an hour to an hour and a half. If you are finding that your child is spending an inordinate amount of time on homework, 2.5, 3 hours, please reach out to the teachers and let them know that. I especially would like to know if your child is spending a ton of time on my homework, if they're not getting it, if it seems too hard, if it seems too easy. Please let me know. I would like to know these things because it helps me kind of, guide your child's individual education. So, let us know, reach out to us, give us kind of feedback. We love it. Your child will have a midterm or final exam, not or, in this class. Do not stress about it. Do not let your child stress about it. The midterm and final is massively prepared for. We provide study guides over a week in advance. We spend an entire week before midterm and final week kind of reviewing, doing review games, talking about all the topics covered. Your child will be extremely prepared for it. So don't let them stress. You don't stress. We are, we're going to prepare them for it. Nothing's going to be new. Topics covered in this class are going to be conflict, plot devices, irony, narrative poetry, point of view, making inferences, imagery and mood, symbolism, comparing styles and situations, figurative language, and voice. So right now we're in a figurative language unit. Maybe you've seen some of the homework assignments your child has been bringing home. So we are kind of really digging into that. I'm covering 15 different sources of figurative language or styles of figurative language that they may see. And I really get into it. We also do a research paper in this class, usually during the 3rd marking period. And I spend the entire marking period on it. So we really break it down, from note-taking and finding sources and credible versus non-credible sources to incorporating textual evidence, how they would cite their sources, the importance of not, plagiarizing, all of those things. I have like a whole unit on it and we break it down lesson by lesson. So for those of you whose children are scared of writing or hate writing or just generally don't want to do it, it will be, a big topic that we cover, and it's not going to be just, write a research paper and go do it. So some potential stories and novels that we will read. I don't always get to all of these. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Depends on the pacing of the class, but I kind of let your kids tell me where we are going to go and how far we're going to go, because I don't want to ever move on before children are ready to move on and and have really received the material. So I do a Greek mythology unit in the beginning of the school year, usually starting in like October, where we will cover the Odyssey and Daedalus and Icarus. I do a graphic novel version of the Odyssey that's really beautiful. It's very well illustrated by Gareth Hines. So you'll be seeing some stuff from there. I also do a Holocaust unit where I cover Mouse. It is also a graphic novel. I think it's extremely accessible for the children, even though it's covering some very dark subject matter. And there is some, kind of more adult, there are some adult themes there, but it's things that I believe are important for your child to kind of learn. I also do a Latino literature unit where I cover The House on Mango Street and Enchanted Air. Enchanted Air is a beautiful memoir novel written in poetry style, super accessible, and the kids really, really enjoy it because it's got a lot of stuff that they can relate to. So we will read that. And then Asian literature, I cover American-born Chinese. So a lot of different, children talking from the perspective of, their immigrant parents or children who are trying to balance kind of multiple cultures, that kind of thing. Check the parent portal for homework, test announcements, and current topics. Tests will be announced 3 to 5 days in advance with a study guide. I will post my study guides and most of my PowerPoints on Google Classroom for your child to access in case they lose their papers, which they do. And then the textbooks, they're massive, so I'm going to keep them as a class set, and I'll make copies as needed to send home with students. I don't want your child carrying like a huge textbook around with them. I think it's silly, and I don't use the textbook very often. I do refer to it sometimes, but I don't use it very often. I use supplementary material instead. Just really quickly, what is multicultural literature? So multicultural literature is anything written about a person or group of persons who is or are outside of the dominant power structure of a country or region. So this includes people of different colors, different religions, different ethnic backgrounds with developmental or physical disabilities who define themselves as LGBTQ from a geographically isolated area or of socioeconomically deprived background. Different from world because world literature focuses on literature written from a particular place, while multicultural lit is literature written by somebody who experiences the culture of a different place but lives in America or, a centralized location like Canada, something along those lines. So that's where we're at. Hopefully you don't have any questions, but if you do, you can always reach out to me. I am available. And other than that, I'm looking forward to teaching your child, and I'm hoping it's going to be a great year. Thanks for watching.